I've got a whole bunch of stumps to grind. We're back to working on the stump grinder. This thing's supposed to cut in both directions. It has the teeth to do so. It's supposed to cut when you swing this way, and it's supposed to cut when you swing the other way. But it doesn't. It only cuts when you swing away. And now that I have this new joint on there, I can see why when you push that way, it tends to push this into the ground. And when you pull towards you this way, it picks this up off the ground. And this machine generally just kind of bangs around a lot anyway. It's pretty hard on the 3-point hitch in the tractor. Most tractors do not have down pressure in the 3-point. So this one does no way to add any weight hydraulically. It just sits there and floats. So it's just the weight of the machine. So I'm going to add a few hundred pounds of weight out of here. I've got these weights off of a John Deere track loader. I'm not sure how much each of them weigh. I bet it's at least 100 pounds, maybe over that. And I've got this sheet of 1-inch steel I got from a scrapyard for 50 bucks, which I think will be perfect for this. So what I'm thinking is space this tubing out a little bit past this, and I got to clear this here, this pin. So space this out a little more than a 1/2 inch, maybe a 3/4 of an inch, and then weld that piece of plate on here, and then I can bolt the weights to that plate. You're not going to weld those weights to anything, so I've got to back it up with some mild steel behind it. So that'll be, well, I don't know, 200-300 pounds on the side there. And I can try that. If that doesn't work, then I can add more weights if I so desire. So I think I'm going to use pulse MIG on this, and we're going to run it uphill. There's a single pass versus numerous passes. I'm not going to try to tell you which one's the right way. I don't know which one's the right way. They're both going to hold in this application. I think I would have had to change the welding settings there on the multiple pass one. See how the bead's kind of sticking up too much? Probably should have turned it down some. It was set just about perfect for the one pass, but a little too hot for the multiple passes. I ran this stump grinder 4 or 5 hours, and the weight works good, but I've picked up a bend. If you look at it this direction, it's starting to bend, and it's also starting to bend if you look at it this way. Maybe you can't tell on camera, but it's just starting to go this way. So what I ought to do is build a heavier, just cut all this stuff off and just start over again and build a heavier frame out of 3-inch. This is 2.5 inch. I don't know why. Build it out of 3-inch, something a little heavier, but I really don't have time right now for stuff like that. So I'm going to take this 2.5 inch by 5/8 plate, and we're just going to make a big sandwich mess. Now, if we look real close, now this was a downhill MIG weld. If you look real close, it's separating. The weld is starting to fail. And that's how a downhill MIG weld usually fails. It usually lets loose from one side on the edge. And if we go over here, we have an uphill weld. That's uphill MIG. And it may not look super pretty, but it's still fine. So here's a real world example of why not to weld downhill on something important that's going to take a beating. Yeah, that's a perfect example of if you're over 1/8 inch material, you shouldn't be welding downhill. Usually when I fix a failed weld like this, I'll hit it with a grinder, then it's going to get 70/18 uphill over top. It's stronger. I don't know if it's strong enough. We'll have to try it. I think that's enough stump grinder for one video. We'll see you in the next one.